Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Welcome back to the T0 to T6 bit series. Here we're going to be testing out a prototype fit for the next tier of filament, or not really tier, but the next fit we're going to potentially be using. This is T4 Firestorm. Same tier as T4 Electric like we're currently doing. Thing is, it's Firestorm, and it's going to be a bit more profitable because of the very low filament cost. But it is also a lot more difficult because we don't have the capacitor bonus of the electrical side, so we're going to have to dedicate more of our modules to tank modules, or more expensive ones, and dedicate more of our modules to capacitor modules. So we've got a fit right here. This is very similar to the one we're currently using. It does not cost 266 million because we're on the test server testing this out. It costs actually 1.2 billion, so it is a pretty expensive fit, but about half the price of the T5 fit I've got. So it's going to be like a stepping stone, so we'll be able to get there even quicker because it has got a lot of modules that are very similar to the T5 fit. It's got a Corpum A-type multispectrum energized membrane. Can be quite useful. I mean, that's going to be our main tank module in the T5. So having the Corpum A-type out right here, and then it'll be like we'll already have it. So when we get there, we don't have to spend extra ISK on that. Then we've got the medium armor repair II. This is also great, Corpum A-type. So this is exactly what we're going to be using. What we're also going to be using is a T4 Firestone filament, which I don't have, so I need to go get that. Okay, now I've got the filament. Let's go. See what we've got here. I'm quite curious how the tank will fare against Triglavians because we've got significantly less tank against Triglavians compared to our classical T4 electric fit because the enemy or the Firestorm reduces the downward resist by quite a bit. So to be honest, Triglavians are the waves that I'm most interested in. Otherwise, we do have a pretty decent amount of tank, so I don't worry too much about the tank per se, apart from Triglavians with thermal intense waves. Time can also be interesting to see how that goes. But I'm pretty sure the time will also be good. Acolyte 2 is also probably not so optimal here. We should use Hobgoblins. The problem with Hobgoblins is they're just so squishy. So squishy. Let's go towards the blind out of cash over here. Tanking is no problem. We have Conflag as well. We don't need to bother with the cash because we're doing this on the test server. Okay, a lot of damage now suddenly on our drones. Yeah, so we should probably alter the drone slightly right here. Put some Hobgoblin 2s. We also need to be slightly wary of neuters as well, because we only have one cat battery. So we're not really that newt proof as, like, say, a Nikita with 2 cat batteries, and we've only got 13 gigajoule to spare, unlike the electrical side where we have 40 to spare. So we've got a bit less of a buff of resisting newts, and newts are actually really deadly when it comes to Zealot, because if you get neuted out, it's game over. Like, there's nothing that can help save you there because you can't shoot without your capacitor. So I would say that the capacitor stability is a lot more like necessary, or the requirements of having a capacitor stability is a lot higher here, because if that fails, your ship is very likely to fail. There are many ships that use very little modules that use capacitor, say like a Hawk. Missiles don't use capacitor. Even if I have passive fit, it doesn't use capacitor. So those kind of ships don't have to at all worry about capacitor stability to the same degree. Sometimes you don't even need capacitor stability. But here, our tank goes, our damage goes, everything goes. If our capacitor is completely neutered out. I can deploy a bit of drones right here. These wardens should be taken care of as well, actually. They're webbing us, making us have a hard time to keep range and apply better. Don't even really need to use our armor repair, to be honest. How much HP do we have right here? Because we've got a lot of... We'll have the 28k HP, that's a lot of HP. Because of the Firestorm sight buffing our armor. The automatic suppressor shaving down our drone's HP right there. Ever so slightly. It's a medium range one, so they're not taking too big of hits. And I think they might have been it just for a brief time because it's not shooting anymore. And for those curious, the reason I'm using it Multifrequency is because it's got better tracking against these little frigates. Less DPS than Conflag though, so if you're against like cruisers and up, best to go with Conflag because the range is almost the same. But things got slightly different optimal and fall off properties. Keep a range here, 500. Shoot this guy, 600 volley. That's nice to see. Oh, my drones took a bit of beating right there. I had the default automatic suppressor, which took a second. And suddenly just all this shields just got obliterated, because these are unbonus light drones and they're armor based drones as well. So their shields are nothing. Just like a tiny tap and their entire shield is gone. Okay, what was the time right there? Good, 5 minutes, and this is also a good representation of time. A challenging time because of the minus 50%. Ooh, this is a good trigger in a way, because we've got ghosters as well. Ghosters can be quite troublesome for the Zealot. Let's see how this goes. I'm quite curious. We can go with Imperial Navy perhaps. I want to take out at least one of these ghosters. And then we'll go for that Vedmak afterwards, because he does a ton of damage. Go on, take him out, that little dammer. Come on. Take him out for his remote reps. Stop. Okay, good. Now I can go for this Vedmak over here. Conflag. Tank seems to be alright. They will spool up, however, in due time, so we can't be too happy. What is our optimal range? 7. So it's alright. We're a decent range. And we're also webbing him too. Yeah, that drone is taking a bit of damage, so we should be a little bit careful there. We've also got the reactive armor hardener as well, spooling up slightly. HP per second is really low, 71. But our resists complement us it so much and makes it so powerful. Because having tank is partially due to how much HP you repair every second, but also how much resists you have, reducing the incoming damage. So the HP you're repairing is actually worth more than it otherwise would be with bad resists. Okay, let's deploy these drones to assist a bit right here. We've also got a tracking part, and that's really good. But not good for testing purposes though, because we can't assume that we're always going to be having a tracking pile here helping us out. It's good to take care of these ghosts as quick as possible, because they're going to make it so much more difficult for you to hit anything. Especially since all these guys remote repair each other. They're pretty tricky bugs to squash. Keep it range 10 kilometers. Then we'll go for the tanglers afterwards, because they're causing they're going to be causing problems in terms of keeping range and getting better tracking. Okay, that guy is going down now. We can recall drones because we're taking a ton of drone aggro. Now it should be a lot smoother since all those ghosts are off the grid. But that was good. Tank was really stable. Really happy with about that. It was a lot less a tank than the T4 Firestorm variant. I mean the T4 electric variant. But I think I already had a lot of tank on the Zealot, so that's why it went really well, even though it's because the HP per second tank I have against Triglavians in the T4 electrical variant is 600. Here it goes down to like 450 or 400, something like that. So it's a lot, like very big difference. We're talking like almost 50% reduction, or 20%. Okay, let's go for anchoring dam over here. The time is also pretty decent too, considering they've got increased armor HP. And it's minus 50% too. I guess it's not a good test for tank, because if thermal resistance is not as low as it would be in the minus 70%. Record drone, no, we lost an acolyte. We could also potentially do more damage with the hammerheads. I think we might have lost more drones if we were to use hammerheads, because they're very weak in terms of their survivability. Take out striking dam over here. Keep a range, just keep range so that we can move a bit more freely and have them accumulate in one spot so we can blast them very nicely instead of getting these glances off shots. Oh yeah, 600 penetrating shot, that's what I want to see. Great. Damavik over there. But I mean, considering we're just using 2 Tech 2 heatsinks, we've got room to improve in terms of our DPS. We're really powerful actually. The T6 fit has 3 faction heatsinks, but it's also a lot more expensive. Yep, soon taking this guy out now. Great. 5 minutes again. We didn't go for any extraction nodes, but we definitely made it in a decent amount of time, especially considering the minus 50% penalty. Next room. Elite Lucifer Cinnabar. These guys are really easy. They're not at all an issue for the Zealot, because these do explosive and EM resist, and we have a lot of that actually. Let's approach him and take him out. We can even reset the reactive armor hardener just to get some better resist profile. Keep it range 500 just to get as close as possible. Why am I missing that completely? I'm hardly hitting anything. Is he really that fast? Okay, we're able to hit now. Go for Elite Lucifer Cinnabar. Keep a range 2.5. There's a lot of newts. And that's just something to keep in mind when you're fighting the Cinnabals. We've trained a skill on the test server. Doesn't mean anything because we've already trained that skill, I believe, on Tranquility. The test server has got usually a lot of the skills delayed from a previous rollback of Tranquility. Great. Okay, take out this guy now. Yeah, pretty simple. These guys, they have hardly any armor, so they're barely affected by the 50% armor HP bonus. They're shield-based ships, so they don't particularly take longer time to do than their regular counterparts. Lucid Deep Watchers are waves that take so much longer because they've got such a big armor HP pool, and the majority of their HP is in their armor, so they're affected most by this armor HP bonus. Imperial Navy, perhaps? Imperial Navy. There we go. Let's take out the webbers, because the webbers are just going to make it harder for us to apply. Keep us close, let them orbit a bit closer. Even though it maybe seems like, oh, why would a web affect application? But it does a bit. When they're keeping you slow, you're not able to get a good angle on them. Medusa, I think, can also... No, it's not Medusa. Is it Medusa? I was thinking the Medusa can web and scram. It's the Echo, yeah, it's the Echo that can. Alright, look at that. Big volleys now that we're able to keep range decently. Still being webbed though. So we're taking out the web. He's still there, working away at us, doing absolutely nothing because we're so powerful. Oh yeah, I forgot. The elite ones, they have this Angel Hex skin. It's pretty cool. I never realized an NPC would have that, but they do actually. Same thing goes with the elite Lucifer Cinnabals as well. They have the Angel Hex skins. Penetrating Charlotte 800. Great to see. And there we go. Alright, so we are here. Alright, so the T4 Firestorm Zealot seems to be really great. It is a bit of an expensive ship, 1.2 billion ISK, so it's not at all a cheap one, but it seemed to work pretty well in this test right here. More tests are needed against various spawns, and also minus 70% resist penalties will challenge the tank a bit more than we had this minus 50% here. But Mass Trig Larvin Wave seemed to be really well, and Mass Trig Larvin Wave seemed to go really well, and we also had ones with a lot of Damabics, with like Ghosters, which will push our application to the limit, make the whole wave take longer, and increase the damage we take because they'll have a lot more time to spool up, and we still seem to have no issues with the tank actually. So I was really happy about that. Seems like this would be a very good upgrade to the current Zealot we have right now. If it continues like this, I would be really willing to do the Firestorms because they're so much more profitable than the T4 Electrics. And also, this fit itself, it's not like we're just spending 1.2 billion ISK and we're going to be wasting going back in terms of our progress to T5. All these modules right here, they're used for the fit that is used in T5, or pretty much all of them, almost all of them, or any of the expensive ones at least. So I think that it will definitely make the whole process go a lot quicker because we'll be earning more ISK, and then we'll almost be able to get to T5. I think it'll just be nice to have a little bit of a stepping stone so that there's not such a big jump in terms of the ISK required for the next tier, so that we have something to use to feel a bit of an upgrade to our ship in the meantime. So I hope you guys enjoyed T4 Firestorm Zealot. Let me know what you think about this fit in the description below. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.